To get your projects done right. With Angie, you can connect with top pros and see ratings and reviews. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
I went to St. Jude because I had a cancerous tumor.
These kids, they don't deserve to have to go through this. My beautiful little redheaded girl has cancer. You don't know what's going to happen.
Please call or go online and become a St. Jude.
There's probably going to be background noise, but we're revamping to move things around, so everything is kind of coming together. Yeah, we were before painting and stuff like that, and I don't know, before a lot of things just kind of went haywire for us and confusing, so I have decided, I'm still at the tail end of this little, I don't know what you call it, flu or virus or whatever. So here we go, we're moving and revamping a lot of my art supplies. I know Sasha Bear, she's always so, oh my goodness, she's such a ham. I think she's got to be boss of everything, I think. Anyways, and oh, you guys can like literally make art out of anything almost, like check that out. Bloop. And so I think I may end up cutting this somehow, or angling and cutting it and putting it onto a canvas and having it pour out. I don't know. Hope and Hugo have a hard time putting lids on things. So they get their minds are so busy. So if anything stays intact or together, I'm very lucky. So Hugo went around the house and found a lot of my art stuff and some old canvases that I didn't even touch yet. I don't know what my dogs are all freaking out about, but they are. So he found some canvases that I still haven't touched yet and still in their wrappings, and we still have some things to clean up here. Obviously, we just kind of shoved things around, and we're starting to just organize, go through what's important. There's, you know, when I was talking about Hugo, if you look, I know it's got to be cleaned up here. All the dogs are freaking out here. And the hand castings and moldings that Hugo was doing constantly, and with Anna, and she'd fall asleep and trying different things, and in the kitchen molding candles, and that's what he was doing after Caleb passed away. So sorry for all the mess. It's going to come together slowly. I'm starting to feel better. My ribs are starting to feel better. This head cold's been feeling, you know, it's just like a snotty kid, you know, just a kid with snotty nose, and, you know, it goes to sneeze, and then all of a sudden it's, yeah, just kind of like that. So it's been fun, you know, the joys of the seasons, and, you know, just keeping your immune systems up and all that stuff, washing hands and wearing masks or whatnot, or I don't know. Whatever you feel is your preference anymore. It seems like everybody just kind of sways one way or another and is learning from their own processes and learnings and everybody's teachings or whatnot. So, yeah, so I do still have a slightly irritation on my throat. My nose is kind of gross. Like, it's just the sinuses. So, like I said, so that is about it. That's what we've been doing. We did do a run today. We picked up a whole bunch of medical bags, feeding bags that were donated kindly to us, and from the Canadian Angels Society, I believe it was. Okay, so that was the network, Canadian Angels Network. Anyway, so they donated a bunch of syringes and feeding bags and everything. So it's been a long day a bit today, and so I will be posting some of our videos. I guess Hugo and Hope took some time out today and went and saw Sage on top of that. So like I said, it's a busy day. And then I've been trying to kind of clean up this room and try to start making room and start figuring out, okay, where we're going to start putting all our art stuff that I've been finding that we've been putting back together around the house that's been just scattered from one end to the next. It's hard to keep things because then Hope wants to do a project, Hugo wants to do something, or And, you know, the nurses and Nana are going to do something, and I'm going to do something. So you've got a big diversity of people kind of dipping in. And so I finally decided to say, guys, this is going to be one room. Use it, bring it back, do your best, put lids on, whatever. And try a whole new strategy instead of having it all down by Anna's room where it's kind of in the way and it's kind of chaotic, and just try to make better space here. It is a bit of a hard layout, 4-level split when you have a medical child. It's complicated because you can't get your child into a bathtub. So religiously, Anna gets her hair washed in her bed, gets her hair washed. She gets medical baths, or she gets all her baths in bed. And we change her sheets daily, all that stuff. We have to, of course, right? And so we do that way. And so I've decided to start making a little bit more room here because it's just chaotic to have stuff all over the place and everybody's so unorganized. I'm like, hey guys, like, we've got a room. Let's start taking what we don't need out of it. Put the stuff we are utilizing the most out of, which is our crafts, our arts, and really put it together. You know, have our dogs start trying to get out and go for a walk. I'm still taking that time to try to get out there again, and I kind of missed the really nice winter. I wanted to go out and see all the big fluffy snow on the trees and everything. I love that, and I was going to go take a video of it. I just couldn't bring myself out yet, but I am working on it as I go. I'm hoping that all this can start bringing some confidence back to myself. Sorry, I'm throwing something into a box. So again, I'm hoping that I can eventually begin. And I just wanted to say that we have now our own, what you should call it. There we go. I wanted to kind of show that too. I know I kind of stop and start with videos, hey. But anyways, we have opened up our own P.O. box number now, things like that. Because we do get questions, the people that would like to share their story or their art, or I truly believe, there's a really good amount of people out there with really amazing stories. Today, the lady we picked up from the medical bags, and this is really good because we had a lot of cuts on our syringes and things like that, so it becomes a struggle for families medically, and anybody who runs out of bags or all of a sudden is like, hey, I have no feeding bags, I can't call home nutrition, and does anybody have any? In the middle of the night, we're able to say, yeah, I have some, and people start asking around, I know someone who has some, and you know what I mean? It just becomes that great moment in life when we can be able to say, yeah, I got your back on that. And so it's really good. So yes, but I'm not saying, send us all your medical equipment, things like that. Because, our house we're working on trying to revamp everything in our home, try to refigure out where our life is at this moment, restructure ourselves again. So this was going to be Hugo's kind of like YouTube channel room, but he's not ready because there is so much controversy in our whole lifestyle or what's been going on. And we are a heavy topic sometimes. So sometimes we're not, sometimes, it's not, it's just, we've got a heavy story sometimes. And sometimes it's just like an unbelievable topic, and it's a topic, I guess you would have to say, it's hard to intake sometimes. It's hard to do it, we're hard to understand or hard to intake at the moment or in the moment of things. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it except for saying negative, positive. That's it. Or positives, negatives, however you want to look at it. The yin and yang balance of everything, kind of like, here it is, this is what it is, we got to move forward, let's get this going, let's get this done, and let's do that. And it is the dynamic of things. So also, there's one of my favorite pieces, I believe I've showed this before, that Hope kind of tinkered with, and you can see on a gray color, blends a lot. I wonder though, I don't know what I'm stepping on. I'm stepping on Formula, a box of. But on the orange, looks kind of cool. But it is really, I really like to stare at this one. I don't know, I like this one really a lot. And that is what that is. And it glows too, of course. And then there's like, you know, the universal disc of all the things. And Anna and I painted this one, I believe. So we did do painting. Yeah, we literally did this by hand. So we painted there in the center. We painted around. We did all this here and around on the highlights. And yes, it glows. Isn't it? Like it turned out really cool. It's kind of, I don't know, a different way of doing pottery in my sense of thinking. It's just there's an unending sense of learning with this stuff. So I have a couple projects I plan to get on the go, but Anna wants to do a phoenix next. So we're going to work on a phoenix. I'm just going to show, this was, my son had made that one years and years ago. And it says, of care, I don't know, a treat full of care. So, sorry, I had to read that kind of sideways. And then, so I'm going to add my son's. I'll add Hope's. I'll add Anna's. And I will add one of my pieces. This one has glitter on it. Of course, it's shaded. It's the way it's shaded and stuff. It's upside down, of course, guys. Sorry. Maybe if I turn my camera around, stick my... Anyways, I don't know if I can get the light on it so you can understand the highlights of the glitter. There's green glitter on the leaves and stuff and around the rose. And anyways, I did that when I started kind of tinkering back around with my stuff. And I believe I will... Oh my gosh, I'm going to crash everything. This is how I always am. Okay, maybe I'm not. Okay, it's not. I touch one thing, I swear to God, I just touch one thing sometimes, and like 50 billion things will come falling off a shelf, and I'm like, I didn't do it, and I'll keep walking away, and okay, nobody's looking, I'll go pick it up now, you know, I am that person. I'm like, yeah, so, or I just, now I'm to a point where it falls, and I just like, all right, I got it, and I just start picking it all up, and yeah, so anyways, guys, yeah, I'm going to throw that in there, and I have a, when Caleb passed away, they did footprints of him and stuff, and, you know, that we can make special things out of and stuff like that. So that will be contributed to a canvas. I've picked up some, I'm hoping the right sizes of canvases. I might work on them tonight with Anna, actually, to start putting them onto, and I will have Caleb's footprint on there as his part of his artwork, because it was done in a blue, I guess paint, a blue acrylic paint or something, and put on nice papers and stuff, a couple of prints and stuff, and so it will be my family canvas art, my, you know, and then I'll put in some symbols for Hugo's kids or something, and he has 3 children. One of them is very artistic as well, I guess, and so I will put in some 3 little contributions for them as well into the canvas, and somehow, and then that will be what it is, and it'll just be just one of those canvases that is put together as a family canvas, and I think that's what we will be working on, because I was telling Anna that we were going to work on a phoenix, but she may end up liking this idea even more, so I will see what happens. I'm feeling better, tea, water, lots of fluids, just sipping on water fluids, and keeping your fluids up. Move around, even if you feel like crap, just try to move up and get up a little bit, stretch, and even if you try to walk down your driveway or down your stairs, or just try, you know, I mean, not saying to do it if you're feeling like you're going to pass out, but, you know, but even if you're in bed and you feel like you're going to pass out, just try to stretch your ribs and sides and everything, and just try to move your body, and it's what we've been doing. And I got to go do some stretches with Anna too, so I got to do those and get those done and do a couple of her meds, So I'm excited. We got one of these. Ta-da! So I told her whether I go for admissions or if she goes, we're knocking on wood. I'm crossing my fingers all the times, guys, that she goes for admissions, or if we just go for appointments, or just want to take some stuff from here and bring it downstairs, and I can put it all in this little thing, bring it down, and there we go. And then it said, he doesn't mind. Sorry, I'll explain the door. Okay, the door got caught in camera here, but anyways, we had decided our first time, I think it was 2 or 3 years, I don't know how many years ago it was. Anyways, he said he was going to bring the trolley up for us. I'll just finish that. And if I need it downstairs, he'll bring it down when I need it or whatever. Anyway, the door, it happened. It was Canada Day, and we decided to finally go out as a family and actually go watch fireworks for the first time and take Anna for the first time to see fireworks in her first time of history in life. And the nurse was like, okay, but I'm coming. And we're like, okay, we're going to try to be there on time and try to beat traffic. And we ended up getting caught in traffic, out of all things. And my dog Tegan, we put a couple of dogs away because sometimes the dogs we didn't know how they would react with one of the nurses, being able to come in and unlock her door or whatever, and come in and, get things ready as normally until we got home with Anna and be able to help intercept Anna and then help us get her in the house and load her onto bed and all that stuff, right? So it was our first time that we ever tried this as a family. And Tegan, we found out, Tegan has a fear, and we totally forgot about it, of fireworks. Our male, and he was in Hope's room and with the female dog, and we had Chelsea and Tegan in here because they're the two that we really wanted to ensure they weren't going to scare a nurse or anything like that, and we didn't want to make her wait outside if all, and all that stuff. So anyways, that's what happened. So Tegan was so terrified that when the nurse was here, he ate through the door and went running to the nurse and sat by her shaking, and she had to console my shaking dog at the moment. So we found out he's very terrified of thunderstorms. He's always been and we've tried thunderclap or thunder blankets on him and stuff. And so he does have this, he's such a shy boy. So he has nervousness of thunderstorms. He gets nervous under fireworks, and a lot of times people just shoot them off like crazy, and then he tries to hide, and he'll try to scratch through a door to get into a room, or he'll try to scratch a door to get out to be near a person somewhere, because he doesn't know what to do during that, and it just makes him go crazy. And that's my male red border collie, and he just seriously, he'll go nuts on any occasion that somebody's throwing off fireworks. So we've been really trying to work with him. We've tried CBD oils, we've tried lavender stuff, we've tried, oh my gosh, we've tried giving him lavender baths and everything, but he's getting better as we go through the years, is starting to calm down and not be as terrified. But when we first moved here, it was I don't know, it was a while ago. I can't even quite remember, guys. I'm sorry. I don't even quite remember. All I remember, it was the first time that we took Anna out on Canada Day, and we met up with my son, and it was great. It was the first real Canada Day that we celebrated as a family, kind of, because my son and his friends met up with us, and we met up, and we had Hope and Anna. We just, and it was really nice, and it was great. It was really great, and nice to be able to have Anna see the environment of people, and the occasions that everybody shares, and everybody has July 1st or Canada Day or whatever. And it was just really great to actually have her involved in the celebration and see it and be a part of it. And sorry, guys. And it was our first Canada Day to be out there celebrating. they're real. Like, I mean, we've been out, I think, once before. But it was tough because, you know, where we had to go, and it was sort of so nerve-wracking, we really didn't get to enjoy it or something. And or I think I just took my son. I don't even think we got to take Anna because it's so risky. So, anyway, but we did get caught up in the traffic, and that was scary, and one of the scary parts of things. So one of the reasons why we don't really like to get caught up in like big traffic things where people go watch, you know, candy cane lanes or things like that, and then what happens if we're stuck in the traffic, or, you know, and then I guess that was one scenario after Canada Day that made us really think about those scenarios. And I don't know, we started isolating a lot more since then. And COVID, of course, has even been more progressive. Oh, there's one of Anna's baby hands. So it's when one of her hands was really little. So I might even put that on. No, you know what? I might put that on the canvas. I think I'm going to be working on the canvas now, guys. Anna's waiting for me downstairs. I got to go get her meds done. And I've got to do some stretches with her. You know, we got, you know, when she's no muscle tone, things like that, lack of circulation. So you got to make sure, you got to keep circulation going every so often, and move her limbs a bit, or turn her a little bit, or, you know, and she can, you know, get her to work on doing her best to activate her muscles because she goes for treatments. And her next treatment, guys, I'm knocking on wood, crossing my fingers, that's coming up. It's a decade and a half for Anna, February 7th. It's been a really long road. 15 years. And I think it's 3 years ago or 4 years ago we started the treatment with Speranza. Something I was told my daughter would never see, would never live to see, never live to be able to achieve. Even if she does, what good's it going to give? But it's been giving her courage. It's been giving her confidence. It's been giving her rehabilitation with what she thought she lost. The other day, she was able to joke with her dad because he's like, she's sticking her tongue. What is she doing? And she was just moving her tongue all over the place and sticking it out and giggling and pulling it back in. And he's like, what? And it's like, I've been telling you, look at this, look at this. Like, it's just crazy to see some of this reverse. And no, I mean, SMA took its progression in some areas, but what we're able to give back from it has been incredible over the past years, from being told to hold my baby and let her go. And I was just looking at her, smiling, moving, full of life, mind completely there, thinking, why? She's got full potential in her. She's got a mind, you know, her choices. And I says, how can you speak on her behalf when you're not even giving her the ability to choose or make that choice, or let us be able to be the families to pioneer this, or, you know, be the hospital to say, you know what, we are that hospital that has been saying that we save all kinds of lives, support all kinds of lives. We've traveled people all across the world. We've brought professions from across the world. You know, wow. SMA's a low number though. It's a genetic. Go figure. Anyway, diversities. It's amazing what they do for human life and what a human life can love and others take for granted. And Anna just loves art as much as anybody else. She loves activity. She loves folk music. Not fold music. I put it as fold in one of my videos. And I believe that was Hope up there when she was a baby. And so yeah, lots of things that we're cleaning up and finding and revamping and redoing and reorganizing. And we decided we will work on finishing I'm just trying to find out. There it is. Superman And he started doing this. Hugo started doing this during COVID. So I thought it was kind of funny. If you were ever able to look back on his Facebook or things like that, you will see this was done in 2022. Oof. And I'm like not breaking it. See what I mean about how clumsy? I mean, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, don't touch it, Lisa. Okay, there we go. So, my hair is really messy, guys. Whew. So anyways, he got this inspiration and he'll be like, Lisa, can you help me draw this? And this time he did it all on his own. I don't remember if I drew this one or not, but I think he did this all on his own. Looks super cool. And he's determined to finish the table this year. Part of ADHD, the big problem of it, they never finish tasks. Never finish tasks. So, excuse me. So anyways, with that being said, that is his next goal, is that he said he's going to finish that. I don't know whether he will get there or not, then I'll be proud of him because he finishes it. That will be a great accomplishment for someone with ADHD. Just a task like that. Can you please finish this project? They start it and then they don't know, or they their mind just, boom, that's it, done. Anyway, it's a lot to keep up to, and I'm starting to try to work a whole new idea of function with the family that will work for me, the girls, the nurses, and everyone. And we'll start to see whether it comes together. Of course, we got a lot going on, and like I have said, we don't have the mortgage protection insurance anymore. Never did, because Hugo was told he has to be off of Cymbalta for 5 years, and he never made that 5 years. And if anything, it didn't help him going off. I think if you're going to go on a medication for mental health, that you need to go off of it when you're ready, and that there shouldn't be the discrimination of mental health on an insurance policy, because it becomes an increasing snowball that really increases a big progress of stress and problems and issues, especially when you walk in the house and just purchase the house, and the first night it floods in the kitchen and then floods in the basement, and you already have over $5,000 of damages just looking at it. And that's not including somebody going down the pipe to see, because now this pipe is down in the basement, under my cement, through the wall, in the cracks. God knows how far it goes, where it goes. And if it goes to the city streets, if it's a tree, then you got all that stress. And then insurance is like, no, we're not touching it. And so then eventually it just becomes a big snowball, and then insurances realize your house has got a problem, and then they start cutting you off or finding reasons not to have you and telling you nobody's ever going to take you, and you're never going to get insurance again, and they just cut you off and leave you with absolutely zero insurance. Thank you, A-Win Insurance, for that, by the way. And that was A-Win Insurance Company that did that to us, and then Scotia Bank that helped suggest Hugo to go off of Cymbalta. Well, since then I've had cancer, brain bleed, and he quit drinking cold turkey 3 years ago completely, because when we look back now, we're more than thankful he did. When we started looking at it, I was looking back at some of his pictures, and oh my God, he was like an embalmed balloon and so huge. And when he stopped drinking, he started losing massive amount of weight, and everybody's like, oh, he's stressed out, it's because you've got issues. And yeah, I got issues, guys. I got PTSD. Take education on it. Yes, it has bipolar like instincts, it has ADHD symptoms, it has, oh my God, if you guys actually educated yourselves on PTSD, you wouldn't be running around telling everybody I'm split personality, bipolar, blah blah blah. You'd be going, oh, she's PTSD. Wow, I'm glad there's Einsteins out there. Lots of cornflakes that need to go out there for people. Boxes of cornflakes that need to go out for An enormous amount of people. I had someone actually go onto the Royals, and they were actually pointing out to me that you're like, oh, well, it's in your opinions and blah, 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 and starts bashing me about my opinions. And I'm like, yes, darling, thank you for the Einstein rewards here, because the Einstein rewards goes to this lady who gets a cornflake box, because why? I have been pointing it out that it is my opinion based on my opinions. So yes, lady, the majority will have a different opinion. Great that you can clear that out and make yourself try to look smart, but in all honesty, you just don't get it. Really. I mean, come on. Had to call me out on the fact that I'm putting my opinions in that. Majority of people say their opinions are this, or their majority opinions are, well, that's correct. Because they have their own majority of opinions, and that was my opinion, Einstein. Thank you for clarifying that I kept writing my opinion, because I was basing it on my opinion. Wow. Anyways, a whole lot of light brights out there sometimes. Anyway, glad that the people can waste their time on a debate like that. Oh, that was 30 years of history, but 30 years of history that caused 30 years of someone's trauma. Let's dig that up and fix it, maybe. No, we won't want to go back in the history and fix the trauma. Because it's better to just leave everything in the history, so that the people that have the issues with the history that never got dealt with have issues. Bravo. I don't know. I don't know how it works, guys, but I'm no Einstein to mental health, am I? Anyways, what do I know? I know that art, though, has been a great therapy for me. It's my good starting point. It was suggested to me through the psychiatrists. Someone said it somewhere down the line. Why don't you begin art therapy again? And I picked up sketches like the rose I sketched, I don't know, quite a few years ago. Somebody suggested a sketchbook to me, so I sketched a rose and didn't touch the sketchbook that they gave to me, but I think I did try, and just wasn't there, just didn't have it. It was like a writer's block. So sometimes an artist has an artist block, and I had a reader's block. I had an reader's block, I guess. That was confusing. But you guys get it. You get what I mean. And I had that block for so long, there just wasn't me in there at all anymore. PTSD, complex PTSD, depression, anxieties, grief, anything like that. And when it starts hitting you traumas after traumas after traumas, you start losing who you are, because you fall into the spider web of it, and you're starting to dig yourself out, and you have to keep referring back to it, reflecting to it, and fighting back with what that is or that isn't, or somebody saying you are, because, they're like, well, they're not going to focus on the past, and they would be focusing on you now and not saying, well, this is who you were when you're 15. This is who you were when you were 16. This is what you did when you were then. And this is what you did when you partied. And give me a freaking break, guys, and sit down and have a coffee with me. And, learn more about me than your Starbucks coffee. My God, people know more about Starbucks than their ice. I don't know, charging on their light ice on TikTok, I guess, or something. Someone was charging $2 for light ice on Starbucks coffee. Like, this is what society's coming down to, really? What happened to trade or free trade or opportunities or, lifting up spirits or whatnot? Today I went down and I got lost in an area when I was picking up the medical bags with Hugo. And oh my gosh, you think the politicians all lived there? Holy crap. Definitely wrong area. I mean, oof. And then you go to the area where I need to pick up the bags, where the areas people are just not picking up. And these are the bigger areas that are helping the communities. So I'm sitting there and, we're like driving by squatters' house there, mattresses thrown there, people who obviously have medical needs that need attending to, that obviously neglect them because they can't. And you can see it happening because the insurance, or they don't have the money for their medications, and they don't have money for that. And I've had a friend of mine who fell into addictions, yes, and passed away from a diabetic coma. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that she couldn't afford her insulin needles or this or that. But a drug addict can go and get a free insulin needle. Anyways, she fall into depression. She works hard. She tries to do that. And I mean, it was a struggle for her because she's trying to do the right things and couldn't do the right things because the government has it set up that only drug addicts can have the free needles. So she would have to go into a pharmacy and say she was a drug addict. And she would get her needles for free as a diabetic. Ironic, isn't it? bit of a sad story, and unfortunately she passed away in her sleep from a diabetic coma. So, it's just things that go through my mind, and mental health struggles, medical health, and what it does to people, the diversities of it, what is important. Saving lives. People say, let's all lives matter. Children's lives matter. Let's save lives. For those who say it and promote it are the ones that want privatizations, put a t-shirt on to look good and sell the cookies at the bakery sales and say, look at me, I'm the best mom of the day today. Did I bake all the best cookies? Are mine as good as hers? Well, I've hardly ever seen a bake sale at a school anymore because, really honestly, I've got time. I just cannot be the competitive mom. I'm not wanting to be that competitive mom. I just want to be the mom that can be there for my kids. And going to the cookie bake sales and all that stuff is great, but gets a little too fancy, and I don't know, I don't like big crowds of people and things like that. I don't do very good in very big crowds of people. I don't do good in big crowds of traffic, or I hate driving downtown. I hugely hate it, guys. Oh my gosh, I start sweating before I cross the bridge to go downtown. I hate even just going downtown. It's just too much commotion for me. But some areas, like if I hit certain landmarks, I'll be like, oh, cool. Like where Wayne Gretzky got married, it's like the cool church to stop and really look at and see the arts in the church and all that kind of stuff. So there is some beautiful arts and tourism and stuff. But again, I don't know. It's not my business. I don't know. It's too busy for me. I kind of like more neutral, calm a bit, resources there, but my own space. It's hard to understand, and especially when you got PTSD or been through lots of stress. You just lots of things in your life, and you survive a lot of things. It's like, where do you start finding your peace again? Where do you find your rage? Where do you find your calmness? Where do you find your falling points, your rising points? And again, today, like I said, the lady that helped donate the medical bags, she also helps with a lot of food centers in Edmonton and things like that, and really donates a lot of her time in helping many other places when, a lot of these places where seniors live, a lot of people with disabilities, medical issues, and all this stuff that could be using the same help and resources and through their lives. And they find greatness out of the simplicities in their life. And that's the same thing as where myself have been, and then ended up in this big spider web. And it was like, holy man, we had to quickly find a place, and I had a place up north already. And what do you mean I've got the perfect layout at home, but what do you mean we don't have this or that, or the medical equipment or nursing staff for her, or they've never had a pediatrician nursing staff, or then she's going to have to go home and eventually be trached, and they don't have the training for that. What do you mean they don't have the training for that? It was crazy. So the 20-minute hospital, then 45 minutes to the next one that's decent, then 2 hours away to the next one that's somewhat okay, and then 5 hours to the Edmonton Stollery. I had to make a choice. So we had to quickly flip my life inside out. I had to quickly flip my career, drop everything I was doing. May 28th, I was supposed to be enrolled Northern Lakes College for LPN, and May 22nd, 2008, my family learned about SMA, spinal muscular atrophy type 1. So it's been a journey. It's not about my daughter's diagnosis. It's not the stress of that. That I can do her care. No problem. I can take on what she needs to be assisted with or help with, and, monitor and this and that. Sometimes it's just the way the system is. It's set up for people that go through a lot to fail. And then we end up falling through the systems and the cracks, and we literally become cracked out or fall through the systems big time, and hit desperation, depressions. And then the supports are like, oh, but we gave them all the support. But the paperwork of the realization, the exhaustion, the mentality that goes behind it all looks good. It's made to look good. Or, somebody with a condition like, let's say, Anna, rarely changes. And myself, PTSD, my cancer, all the stuff that, Thyroid cancer, it's basically, once they remove it, it's like buying time until you're like 80 years old, maybe 40 years. So you do have a prognosis as long as you're not under stress, or as long as it doesn't start spreading. And of course, mine started spreading to the lymph nodes a little bit. Once it starts to spread, the risks are of it spreading down to your organs, all that stuff eventually, or whatnot. So I did find that, and then of course we found that the radiation was attacking cancer cells in my right breast during radiation treatment. So it is scary because that was quite invasive for me alone. And then finally to have this brain bleed, it was like a real invasion in my body. Nothing you can do about it. You don't even see it coming, and boom, got this life on track, and you're doing this and that. And you're the medical mom, and you've got everything functioning in your home, and you're getting there, and everybody's getting there, and everybody's stepping up. And then all of a sudden, pow! Okay, everybody steps up. They're trying to take your duties. You start healing. You start getting better. Everybody's like, okay, everybody's happy, and everybody starts relaxing, and then everybody's chill. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, everybody's going back to work, and everybody's life is going back to normal. And we're starting to catch up with the bills and trying to catch up with everything again, the medical and all this stuff. And then, pow! Brain bleed. Yeah. Oh, you've been hit by a rare brain bleed, by the way. Yeah, most people die from it, by the way. Oh, okay. And we're going to see about sending you in for surgery, and we don't know how you're going to come out of it. Okay, and we're going to call your husband. Okay. So they call him, stuck at the Calgary airport, 5-hour delay for his next flight. Yes, Mr. Duchesne. Yes, we don't know how she's going to come out of her surgery. She's going to be going in for surgery. By the time you get here, we have no idea what her outcome's going to be. So he sits at the airport, wondering, well, he have two dysfunctional, well, not dysfunctional, I shouldn't say that, because then his body is like, yes, in one way dysfunctional by the muscle tone. But is he going to have two people that he now is going to have nurses for? He didn't know what's going to happen. What's going to be my outcome? And really sent him for a loop. He's sitting at the Calgary airport for 5 hours and processing all of this for 5 hours. No support. And then gets to the hospital. I'm not even hooked up to a IV, and I had no fluids that whole entire day, dehydrated completely. And it was 83 degrees in the house alone. Really hot that day. August 6th was the first time. August 10th was the second time. Whew, and boom. Dehydrated, didn't eat, didn't stop running, was in the heat all day. And not even hooked up to an IV by the time he gets to me, and they're just pulling me into emerge. And have decided that they're going to discuss my treatment and see whether I possibly could maybe absorb the blood that was in my brain. And fortunately, so I went to ICU, neurology ICU, and I was there for a while. They monitored me and discussed for a while and kept observing what to do. And then they finally really come to the alternative that, okay, let's take this risk of letting your brain absorb the blood. Thank God. So I run for risks of thunderclap headaches on a regular basis. I've got to keep a medication that I put under my tongue during migraines in the beginning stages of it. And then if a thunderclap comes on, and if it's full progressive thunderclap headache, I need to have Ativan inserted under my tongue instantly, because the medication for the migraine will not do anything for me at that point. I have to catch it at the beginning of the stage, and it's extremely intense, very intense pain, 0 to 60 seconds for pain, instantly throughout the whole cranium of my head. So that's what I suffer with, and having to work on nutritions and keep stress down and eliminate my stresses and all that kind of stuff. This has been what my stress elimination is. Enjoying this because my daughters enjoy it a lot with me as well, reading to them, singing. Unfortunately, since then, reading has been not easy. So sometimes I think I've read 3 books since I've had a brain bleed, maybe 2 books. I have to try to really push myself. I think I've read 2 books. I read one on a person that I know that adopted one of our dogs. So that somebody wrote it. They wrote a book on on dogs. Anyways, I will one day talk about this book. And I keep saying I'm going to shut her down. I'm very bad for that kind of stuff. But I am going to shut it down. I'm going to start collecting what I need. And I'm going to ask Anna some suggestions and ideas. I'm going to maybe like run the video by her so she can take a look and see what colors we want to go with or what we want to do, and see if there's any ideas that she feels she wants to look at. I wanted to put the bigger pours together, so I want to start sorting them out and try and get some maybe shelf up for now at the time being, and just align them so that we can start seeing more of our bottles and containers. Like even sometimes, like we found some that we haven't even opened yet. So I had some stuff in bags and things like that that I hadn't even opened that we had like tucked away somewhere from trying to clean the house and stuff. So anyways, guys, I want to say thank you to all our subscribers, all our viewers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following with us. Thank you for being patient. I know it's boring for some, to listen to someone talk and stare at all this stuff, but sometimes, I don't know, maybe you could be listening to me talk and then, I want to try this or I want to try that, and my stained glass is right down there. That's going to be my next go-to, and I will get to the story of the dragonfly and my son. That is an incredible story. So I think I'm going to wait for that dragonfly story while I'm doing the stained glass by myself, so I can focus on the stained glass because the solder can smell sometimes. I'm going to try to do one with Anna, but I haven't done stained glass for like 20 years, maybe, I don't know, 15 years. So I'm going to see what kind of skills I've still got on that. So it's fun to tinker with something old again or something new and be creative, inventive. Just let your mind go, relax, chill, and enjoy. Like, I don't know, our family just seems to be fulfilled, and our nurses really enjoy watching us work on our arts and the stories behind all our artwork. And it really, I don't know, it's one of our big positives to see everybody kind of take in when we work on them, and all the stories that come out of our stories from our canvases and why we're doing what we're doing or what we did, or it's amazing all the stories that we end up sharing. Majority from different places and things like that, different countries, and the stories are unbelievable, guys. I just love it. Anyways, I will start posting links soon on our new P.O. Box number. People want to share their artworks or family projects that they might do. We've got a couple t-shirts that we received. What else? We had the medical bags and stuff like that, which we're huge and thankful for. But we just, we slowly are starting things up on our channel. We're not like pros at technology. We're not pros at like, hey, like, let's boost our channel, let's link this and link that. There are people that just done. And I mean, I have no clue. So I'm taking my pace, I'm taking my time, one step at a time. You guys along with me on my journey of the good, bad, ugly of PTSD that I have, because it's hard for me to start a channel and say, this is who I am, guys, and try to be this positive that the world wants me to be, or that the image that we perceive people to be, and say like that we have to be. And I'm trying to be like, how do I fit into this world? For people to understand me and not think, oh, this person is just angry all the time, or ugly, or cold, or mean, or nasty, and just says nasty things and writes nasty things or says nasty things, and you know what I mean? It's really hard to be understood when you're in my mind that's going 50 billion miles an hour with so many things of stress or traumas. It almost looks like a sea turtle, guys. Do you see that? Look at that. It looks like a sea turtle almost. There's the head up at the top corner. And then hang on. Like the body, the head, the fin. Look at that. Rather cool. Sorry, easy distraction. See, I love this one. I think this one I might end up keeping because it is Hope's. And I really love it. I don't know. I really like this one. I think I might end up keeping. I've never really said I really wanted to keep a canvas before. I usually just give them away. So they are adding up, and I'm going to have to start handing them out. So once we reach 500 subscribers, we will start giving away the Labyrinth. Glows in the dark kind of blue, Anna's favorite color. She's coming up 15 years, guys. This is something I was told I'd never see past 7 months. So, I don't know, reach out, share, I don't know, help her make her dreams come true. She's like totally her favorite YouTuber out of all times is Roman Atwood, has been for absolute years. Huge inspiration to Anna. So big shout out to their family because they've been phenomenal positivity for Anna over all these years. Highlights and things that they shared with themselves and stuff like that. So she's been really inspired by that. And I don't know, she's always just been very inspired since. And so I'm doing my best to make this the positives of things. But again, like I said, my PTSD is a positive negative. Very hard to take, very hard to understand, a great diversity of things. So I'm the kind of person who is hard to intake. I'm taking people's crap and I don't know how to dish it out. So that's kind of a way I can explain it. I will take in emotions, thoughts, everything that comes in of what shouldn't be fixed or what needs to be fixed. And I just don't know how to dish it out sometimes either. Or my traumas, I don't know. You know, they hit me like my flashbacks will hit me like crazy of my past traumas. And I don't know how to dish it back out and say I can deal with it yet. And so I work on that in progress. And everybody's like, oh, you need to go to therapy. Well, yes, darn, I've been going to therapy for my whole life almost. Like, no, not my whole life, but majority of my life for quite a fair amount of time. And everybody's trying to figure that out. And it's pretty sad when half your therapists, you know, like have a breakdown or tell you they don't know what to do, or they're like, okay, I've got to transition now, and you finally start doing somewhat good or progress and making progress, and then you get a new therapist and you're like, oh, is this therapist going to be good like the next therapist? So yes, I'm on to my next therapist. I unfortunately have issues trying to do an in-person, especially since my last hospital admission with the taking myself in for needing assistance with mental health, and it turned out very chaotic. So it was insane. It was not the way you would expect to be helped through mental health and to be treated when you take yourself in and when you give your phone over to someone and you think you're trusting yourself with someone. The group therapy was amazing though. And so it's really hard to walk into the same building and pass the same security guards and not want to drop kick the security guards and say, you know what, you're a little effer because you didn't take time to understand what mental health truly is. Anyways. People, education is really hugely important, especially when it comes to mental health and you're trying to save lives and saying that you're doing the work to save lives. Because if you're doing the work to save lives, really put the 100% behind the psychology behind it then. Really take your time for your patients. Read their charts when they walk in the door. Understand who is coming in the door right away so that you are prepared to help them instantly and you know just the right thing to do so you're not traumatizing them more. Anyways, have a great night, guys. Again, it did say Rageful Peace. We did have Superman symbols on Caleb's chest when he passed away. Long story. Christopher Reeve's quote, we all have a little voice inside us. It may be God, I don't know. And anyways, check out that quote. It's really awesome. I live by that quote. It's a Christopher Reeve's quote. And yeah, again, we'll shout out all the noise and clutter. And anyways, read it, guys. I will try to, I don't know, maybe I'll try to post it and in there somewhere in the links and write it up. For some reason my mind is just tired drawing a blank and I'm thirsty and I want to go see my girl and I'm talked too much, but I really hope, cross my fingers you enjoy the video, take your time to understand us, have some patience, and keep checking out what we may create next, and might be, I don't know, the next giveaway. We don't know. I am working to look on the Phoenix after this, so that I would love to see that glow-in-the-dark Phoenix. So I prefer to use colors like this, and so I'm looking to do those kinds of colors. Maybe, I don't know, it can be completely different, I don't know, and do something in a Phoenix form and glow in the dark. And I can't wait to be able to figure out how to get all my canvases to glow the right way one day, so I can show y'all. It's just incredible. You hang them up, you shut off the lights, and seriously, like, it's just, anybody that I shut off the lights, and it's just absolute silence, and everybody's like, it's so cool. Anyways, guys, I'm working on this head cold. We have a P.O. box number. You know, if you want to share your stories or share what you're going through and what obstacle you're overcoming or what you've overcome or being inspired by, or, you know, your family art, you know, why not? I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's great. And I love the stories that come behind people's inspiration or their arts. And I'm still, me and Hugo are kind of lost to finding where the one second piece to the Van Gogh piece goes, the tribute. You know how he like cuts off his ear and sends it to his loved one. Well, I made 2 canvases that you put together, because that would make more sense if you put something as a set, and say I made you a set of paintings, or I don't know, the whole mental health of Van Gogh. And I was just, when you think about his story, it's like, why didn't he just make, you know, 2 canvases and give her 1 canvas and he keep the other? I don't know. Anyway, so I decided to make 2 canvases that go in a tribute to Van Gogh, mental health, glow in the dark, glow on through, and one step at a time. All right, have a good one.